first of all, as I know that the lunch was amazing, and most of us are feeling sleepy. So just like Aman, I would also give you a small exercise. Please don't mind. And this activity is for all of you to meet your best friend. And you have to hug your best friend. Who's your best friend? So can we all stand up for 2 minutes? The person who has been with you since you were born, the person who stayed with you when you were in school, in college, and that is yourself, this human body, because we're talking about health. So let us put our right hand on our left shoulder and left hand on our right shoulder. Close your eyes and say a big thanks to this amazing body who has been converting all the burgers and pizzas to bones and eyes and muscles. So a deep, sincere gratitude, because nobody else will stay with you and nobody else will support your dreams. So this is the most favorite exercise that I do in all my wellness sessions. So let's just do this for 2 minutes and actually feel the body that has been doing this wonderful job for all of us. Just a wave of thanks and affirmation that I listen to your signals. Rather than following some super diet, some super food trend, I listen to you. It always gives us the signals, but we are so extrovert that we forget. If it gives us any discomfort or pain, we try to shut it with some painkillers or some pills, but we don't understand what it actually wants. So this amazing machinery, which we can't even estimate the cost of it. And now you can come back. Just a question. For example, when we buy a car, we work for 5 years, and we'll earn money. We'll buy a car for 10 lakhs or 25 lakhs or even more, and we'll take care of it because we earned it. But if someone told you that, okay, work for 2 years, get a finger. Work for 10 years, get eyes. Work for 2 months, get a leg. And then we'll be like, oh, this is really expensive. I need to take care of it. But now, because it is just there, we take it for granted all the times. And that is my main message. And this is why, after completing my PhD from this institute known as IIT Bombay, I felt that I want to be a spokesperson of Mother Nature and of the human body. But I won't bore you with my stories of how I treated someone's migraine or asthma or weight loss or pre-diabetes or thyroid. But I would take you all to a lab tour, because as a scientist, I believe that labs excite all of us. So what is that lab that I am going to take you to? I'll show you something and you have to tell me what it is, because you all have it. Yeah, it's a cell with extensions. It's trying to assimilate the lipid globules, the lipid that is what you call it as fat. This. Yeah, it's nails. The white part is the nail and the brown part is the skin that is just adjacent to the nail bed. Yes, tongue, like food. When we talk about food, tongue has to be there. All the senses. I mean, this is the one that takes us to the amazing odyssey of food. This is tongue. Basically, the taste buds, not even tongue. I would say specifically is taste buds that give us all the taste. If we can't taste food, the food is just lifeless for us. When we feel sick and we can't taste food, it's like so dull. This? Huh? Eyes, yeah. The rods of the eyes that enable us to see the colors. This is very simple, but still it's my most favorite. Red cells and white cells, and as we know, white cells are the army. So it is just devouring on a bacterial particle. I mean, it literally looks like it's eating it, right? I mean, that's their food. Again, blood flowing in the arteries. And this is my most favorite picture of this amazing lab that we all have. Red part, you know, right? It's the red blood cells. So when we get an injury, there's a blood clot, and that is to stop the loss. I mean, the blood should not just flow uncontrollably. So body puts a mesh in front of it that, okay, please don't flow beyond a limit. So, I mean, this is how intelligent our system is. it's a fibroblast, which is a basic connective tissue cell, and this is how it walks inside the body. I mean, this is like, it looks like a starfish, but that is exactly how it walks. It has projections and it uses the hard surfaces to walk inside the body and migrate to different spots. So I feel that human body is the most wonderful machinery. It can do things that no lab can ever do. I mean, we all think of making artificial organs like liver and heart, but the truth is that we can't even make soil or pebble for that matter. So we should actually value it more than anything else in the world. Now, this conference, this symposium is all about food. So we have to care for that entity which is the birthplace of all food. It's not as fancy as Chef Thakur used with the gadgets. I mean, it's so silent and so humble, but still it's so magical. And I feel that without it, we are literally nothing, and we literally treat it as dirt. It's soil. If we want to have food, we have to take care of this very source. It gives us so many different delicacies. It gives us persimmons, it gives us almonds, it gives us raisins, it gives us berries, grapes, whatnot. But then what has gone wrong with us? Despite having so many wonderful foods, why are we falling so sick? Just look at the global cancer coincidence. I'm sure that 30 years back, cancer was not so prevalent. I mean, it would be like, oh, kahin to kisi ko. But now I'm sure each of you know at least one person who has had cancer, is having cancer, or friends of friends, or I mean, you all know someone who has cancer, right? But this was not the case, as you can tell us, the elderly people can tell us that, cancer was not so common. But what has made cancer so common? In fact, cancer was the motivating factor why I chose to be a personalized wellness coach rather than a researcher. When I used to be in Bombay, I used to see that in Tata Hospital, in KEM Hospital, there were so many small children who were facing cancer. I was like, they are so young. What the hell has gone wrong with their immune system? Why are they falling sick of cancer? So I realized that, yeah, we have really interfered in our food so much. We have changed it so much that we are losing the battle to those who have hijacked our taste buds. And we need to take this back to us so that we can be healthy again. And as the former head of the FDA states, we are living in a food carnival. These flavors, these colors are so enticing, they are so stimulating, they hijack us totally. And this is where the matter of processed food comes in, as Professor Ghosh rightly correctly said. I'm sure most of you would know this chef, the one shown in this picture, Jamie Oliver. So he was visiting a family who was sick of obesity, and doctors told them that you have to undergo huge surgeries. Even then, we are not sure if you'll be able to live beyond 3 years or 6 years. I mean, 16 years old daughter of this lady who's sitting here in the pink t-shirt, and she was crying like anything that, oh, I'm giving them the best of the foods. When I go to superstore, I take fortified cereals. So Chef Oliver said that, why don't you bring everything that you have in your kitchen and your cupboards and show it to me and just keep them on this table? So she just brought everything that she would feed her children. And then after that, he asked her, so is that all? She said, yeah, I mean, this is the best and most expensive, and which shows that rich in vitamin, rich in proteins, rich in this. So I get all of that. What's wrong with this? So he asked her, don't you cook? No, I mean, it's like either you heat something or you cook something or you freeze something or you mix something. It's just like some nano cooking, but it is not from the scratch like we do in India. So then he said that, oh, this is a big problem. We have a huge loss of cooking skills across generations in the country, and this is what is bringing a storm of diseases. So yes, along with the calories, what all of we are eating? This is the biscuit of the nation. Who all love vanilla? Who all love vanilla flavor? Who all love vanilla flavor? I'm asking you. Do you love vanilla flavor? No? Nobody from this side? Okay. So fresh, of course, Chef Gill. I mean, you have the access to best of them. So, and we all are noticing that children these days are very hyperactive. Like, so many parents complain, our boy is so hyperactive, and I mean, he's so restless. And there are just few things. So vanilla flavor, what is wrong with it? When we read any flavor, we say natural, nature identical, or synthetic. So the natural vanilla 1 kg would be somewhere almost 14,000 rupees, somewhere from 10,000 to 14,000. But synthetic vanilla flavor, hardly 1,000 rupees a kg. And like that, when we come to another source of natural vanilla flavor is beaver butt. And FD regards it as natural. So if you go and say, okay, give me a natural vanilla ice cream, 200 rupees, it's okay. I want to buy natural. But where is this natural coming from? From an animal. And maybe you wouldn't know where it is coming from. And the artificial flavors and colors, from cancer to diabetes to atherosclerosis to cataract, whatnot, they contribute to the whole array of diseases that causes inflammation. So, okay, this is just one example. I mean, don't blame me if you don't like the vanilla ice cream today when you go back. I mean, okay, coming on to the chips of the nation. Palm oil, we all know, it's the cheapest, but it is so high in saturated fats that, cardiovascular diseases. After COVID, we realized that celebrities, sports people, they're losing lives like anything, and that too to heart attack, despite having the best gyms, best nutritionists. What's wrong? Of course, stress is one, but eating unhealthy in the name of healthy is another problem. Then corn fructose syrup. Corn fructose syrup, palm oil, artificial colors and flavors. I did a study of 2,500 plus products, packaged food products from across the globe, from different categories, and I realized that these three are the main killers: palm oil, artificial colors and flavors, and corn fructose syrup. So this is the main thing. Like, okay, food was good, but what we have done to it? Now the most favorite thing, maida. Maida has nothing wrong with it. It is derived from wheat only. But what's wrong with it is the bleaching part, is the processing part, making it ultra white. Why are we so obsessed with white? What's wrong if it just stays a little beige or off white? We are so obsessed with all white, all transparent, all free flowing. We have to be a little sane. And this extra obsession with whiteness and finished and refined things is what is leading us to this mess. So these components which are used to process wheat to maida are the ones that cause insulin-dependent diabetes. So our obsession with maida is not because of wheat that is causing diabetes, but of the the processing that goes with it. Again, one more aspect is, how do we cook or process our food? The same potato can be cooked in very different ways. As like, here are chefs. I mean, we all know that there are so many ways to cook something. So if you grill a potato versus you bake it versus you boil it versus you steam it, the profile will be different. And there was one very famous news about these chips, that they were causing acrylamide. They were having acrylamide, which is a very known potent cancer causing agent, that is carcinogen. And because of the heating method, because of the cooking method, the acrylamide levels went too high. So this is a graph which talks about potato, popcorn, Cheetos, and corn. So when potato and corn, things like which are high in starch, and when they are heated on certain temperatures higher than a range, then they get a very huge amount of acrylamide in them. So it is about a particular method of cooking. So cooking is also very important, the method of cooking. So, okay, I won't go a lot about, the processed foods, and we all know the harms of it, and we all are quite conscientious people. But there is one story that I would like to share. You all have heard the story of Midas? Anybody? What happened to Midas? Who was greedy about gold? He said that, give me a boon where whatever I touch becomes gold, and I should be the richest king of the earth. So what he did, he got a boon, but after a point when he touched his water and his food, they also became gold, and he could not eat them any further. And then he was like, no, my food should remain food, and my water should remain water, and my daughter should remain my daughter and not a statue of gold. So this is what we have done to ourselves, like the whole humanity. When we got to invent plastic, we were so happy. Wow, we can make chairs, we can make pens, we can make benches, we can make everything out of plastic. But now, it is in our food. Microplastic is in our food. Now the food, water, salt, it is not palatable. And if this is the case, cancer is obviously going to rise, because we were so happy with this technology that we can make anything out of plastic, and now that has entered everywhere. Now, this is not the food. And when we all know how microplastic is generated, when anything that we dispose of, when it goes to soil, when it goes to water, it gets degraded, but it does not get decomposed completely. So whatever it is there, it is coming to us. In fact, even in air, it is there even in the air. So even we are breathing plastic. So this is what we have done to ourselves, and I sincerely wish that we all can take at least some action. If not action, at least stop damaging. If we love food, we got to love soil. If we love water, if we want to drink water, we got to love and protect and save rivers, and that applies to every aspect of nature. So in the food, all these aspects are important, like how we are growing it. I mean, there are many studies which say that if the rice is stored for less than 1 year, it will cause diabetes. Same for wheat. So earlier in our traditions, the things were stored in a proper way. They were harvested, and those were the very important aspects of how they contributed to our health. Of course, we say that we are what we eat, but we are also what we digest. And digestion is, as we talked about gut microbiome, chewing is a very important process that I would just give as my 2 cents in this talk. That okay, in the oral cavity we do the mechanical part, in the stomach we do the mechanic plus enzymatic, and in small intestine only enzymatic. So the only part that we have control over is this part. After that, it's all automated. It's good that the entire system is not in our hands, otherwise we would make a mess of it. Only 10% of it is given in our hands. So we should chew our food really well. As you can see, that even a good amount of chewing has a very positive impact on the gut hormones. So this is a very important message. And I always feel that stomach would be thinking what my owner is going to dump in me tonight and how he is going to dump in me. So let us make our gut a happier place. And I wish that we all can respect the entire spectrum of nature from the very core of our heart, because we are foodies, and we should really respect all the resources and use them mindfully. Because if we protect nature, then only it can protect us. And so I have had these campaigns like each second 1 acre of land is becoming dead. Food crisis is increasing because of the changing global scenarios, extreme weathers, and financial changes. So we can see the entire world is changing very fast. So we have to imagine, if we want to love food, we have to also be aware and do our bit. So thank you so much for your attention, and this is how you can stay in touch with me over LinkedIn or on Instagram, and my videos on YouTube. Thank you so much.